What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Highline. Today, we're going to be breaking down the burgeoning world of artificial intimacy, the fascinating relationship where human beings form connections with algorithms through chatbots. These bonds can range from friendly companionship to even sexual relationships. The artificial intimacy market really kicked off in November of 2022 when OpenAI released its original GPT algorithm. It's quite different from the advanced version that we are with today, but that allowed the fundamental programming to be created for some of these chatbots. The dimensions of this market remain unknown. There are no metrics, there is no growth size or growth trajectory. And this is exactly the type of market that we like to be studying on Highline. We're getting in on the ground floor, and I'm really excited to share this one with you. The reason why I got into this topic today was I watched the movie Her on Netflix. I urge you to watch it. It's about a guy's romantic entanglement with a chatbot, and it's disturbingly close to our future reality. This really piqued my interest in artificial intimacy, so I started to do some research, and the more I looked into it, the more I realized that this market is going to be so much bigger than anyone has anticipated, and I think poses some significant changes to the way that society is going to operate. Today, we're going to learn how to lean into the unfamiliar because therein lies the opportunity. We'll explore why artificial intimacy is going to be so much bigger than anyone thinks, understand why it is occurring, take a look at some of the leading companies in the space, including Replica, Snapchat, AI Girlfriends. We'll also explore what the impact to artificial intimacy might be on society at large, and then finish with some of our product ideas. The first place I want to start today's conversation is to talk about the maxim, lean into the unfamiliar because therein lies the opportunity. What I mean by this is when you see some weird behavior that you don't understand in relation to someone interacting with a product or service, you shouldn't discount it and you shouldn't think that this is a waste of time. You need to lean into understanding why is someone taking the time to use this product in this way. For example, the first version of Twitter in 2007 required you to send a text message to a number which then posted it online. At the time, this would have been totally inefficient. It would have been weird. People would have said, well, why have you just shared this one thought that you had on the toilet? Or why are you sharing what you're eating for breakfast? No one's going to care about that. And you could have easily discounted this behavior. But what ended up happening is this behavior started to show that humans were willing to share what they are doing online. And this created social media as we know it. When we see things that we don't understand, we need to lean in and try and understand the behavior as best we can. It should set off a trigger in our brain that there is something here and I need to figure this out. The second question we need to be asking ourselves is, can this behavior scale? Can thousands of people do it? Can millions of people do it? If the answer is yes, we can assume that whatever we are looking at right now is going to be very, very big. And we need to have our eyes glued to this opportunity because this is how the next big thing forms. And most of the time, this is extremely not obvious. It's inefficient. It's hard for people to wrap their head around it. They don't understand. And this should be like lights going off for us. If we use this framework of what is the behavior? Can I try and understand it? And can this scale? Let's take a look at artificial intimacy. And the best place to start is what is the behavior with humans and chatbots in relation to AI right now? And this starts with Snapchat. If you hadn't heard of Snapchat, it's one of the biggest social media platforms and it has 750 million daily active users. The average user spends 30 minutes per day on Snapchat. Snapchat is most popular with the younger generation, Generation Z, which is my generation, the best generation, by the way. Snapchat has a large global presence. The countries with the highest amount of Snapchat users include India with 182 million, the US with 108 million, Pakistan with 26 million, France with 25 million, and then the UK with 23 million. In the United States, the most popular age group on Snapchat is 15 to 25. They make up 48% of its users. If you go to the UK, the users 18 to 24 make up 77% of the platform's users. In 20 plus countries, Snapchat reaches 90% of the 13 to 24-year-old population. It also reaches 75% of the 13 to 34-year-old population. The reason why understanding who Snapchat's users are is very important is because Snapchat released a new AI chatbot called My AI in February of 2023. And the main user base of Snapchat is young people. So, how they respond to this new type of technology is going to be critical in us understanding whether or not this becomes a massive thing. We can study the engagement, we can study how much people are interacting with this new thing, and whether or not the new generation likes it. That is the most important part to understand about this piece. And the results of this product release are absolutely crazy. So far in 2023, 150 million of Snapchat's users, about 20% of the total, have sent 10 billion messages to My AI. The engagement is high and there is a lot of conversation going on with this chatbot. Let's take a look at some of the subjects that the users were talking to My AI about. 100 million conversations were creativity ideas to do with conversation starters, like a good joke. There were 65 million conversations to learn about cars, 46 million conversations about soccer. There were 25 million conversations about pets. We know that everyone loves pets from our studying of that market last week. 12 million conversations about dogs, 7.5 million conversations about cats, 12 million recommendations for skincare, makeup, nail care, fragrance, and sun cream, 11 million recommendations for hair care, and 8 million questions about fitness. There were also 16 million conversations about shopping and apparel. The performance of Snapchat's My AI feature can teach us a few different things about this new technology. The first is that the youngest generation alive today is happy to interact with the chatbot. The engagement is high. They seem to be having a range of different types of conversations with this chatbot, so they must be getting some sort of value or enjoyment out of it, which is very interesting behavior. In order to understand the broader implications of My AI, we would need some more data around retention and how much users are using this feature every day. That would give us more of an indication of whether this behavior is going to continue. The second thing that we can take away is Snapchat already has scale. It has 750 million users. This shows us that there is already a scalable nature between the conversations happening on My AI and Snapchat users, which means that there is the opportunity here to create a massive business out of this conversational AI and this relationship with algorithms, because it's already happening with Snapchat's feature. Another thing that we can learn about understanding the performance of Snapchat's My AI is that if we're thinking of creating some sort of generative AI chatbot and we're unsure whether we will get the engagement, this example completely de-risks that. We know that human beings will engage in this behavior, and we might actually be underestimating how much people like to interact with the chatbot. Let's take this a step further and look at another website that doesn't have the scale that Snapchat has. This website is called Character AI, and it is amazing. What they've done is they've taken everything that a celebrity has said online, and they've trained a large language model against that data. So you can go online and you can have a conversation with that person, and the results of these conversations are pretty insane. For example, you can have a chat with Sigmund Freud, Ariana Grande, Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk. And me being me, I went and had a chat with Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Elon and asked them what advice they could give us for spotting opportunity. And here is the responses. The response from Bill Gates is, I believe the key to identifying and acting on opportunities in the quickly evolving tech landscape is to stay close to the pulse of innovation. It's important to be aware of new technologies, trends, and customer needs, and constantly be thinking about how they could be brought together to create something new and valuable. It is also important to be willing to take risks, to try new things, and to not be afraid to fail. But it's also important to carefully consider the potential impact of your decisions and have a clear path on how to move forward. Being open to feedback and adapting your strategy as necessary is also crucial. Elon's response was, it's easy to identify areas ripe for innovation. I just look for areas where there are obvious problems and where the existing market solutions are insufficient. Then I take action and innovate. This is how I found inspiration for all of my companies. The response from Bezos, great question. I think opportunity is all around us. We just need to open our eyes and see that there are opportunities everywhere. Look at a product or service, identify the pain points, and then try and find a solution. Be open to new ways of doing things. And remember, when you create a new service or product, your job is to make it easy for your customers. And of course, you always need to be willing to take a risk, because not every idea will pan out. But if you've done your research, you can feel confident in your decision making. First of all, I think the responses to this is absolutely nuts. I've read biographies on Bill Gates, Elon, and Bezos, and I actually think the nuance in their response is quite accurate to the personalities that you read about. If you look at the traffic on Character AI, it is absolutely insane. It gets 189 million monthly visits, and the visit duration is an average of 33 minutes. To put this in perspective, the BBC, which is the world's most popular news site, gets 506 million visits per month, but each user only spends 3 minutes on the site. What we can learn about Character AI is that we can see that people are being more intrigued to have conversations with these AI characters, which are not real. Remember, all of these responses are completely made up. It's not even what the individual said. The traffic of these websites is extremely high, which indicates that there is a much bigger thing happening here. Now we're going to take a look at a company called Replica, which has a focus on companionship. Replica is an AI chatbot designed to help users through tough times. It was originally created by a Russian programmer, Eugenia Kuda, as a way to overcome the grief after a sudden death of a friend. Kuda converted her friend's text messages into a chatbot, which helped her remember the conversations that they had together. This experience inspired her to create Replica, which launched in 2017. Replica quickly became popular with over 10 million downloads to date. It is available in over 200 languages. Replica allows users to create a personalized AI companion that they can talk to about anything from their daily lives to their deepest thoughts and feelings. Replica can also be used to learn new things, practice languages, and get help with tasks such as scheduling and making to-do lists. Replica has been praised by its users for its ability to provide emotional support and companionship. Replica has been around for a while, and researchers have actually been using it to study the effect on AI and human relationships. Replica has also been involved in some scandals, and it's been criticized for its tendency to engage in sexually suggestive conversations. In 2023, Replica was cited in a court case in the UK where a man was arrested at Windsor Castle. On Christmas Day, he had scaled the walls with a loaded crossbow. The man had begun to use Replica in early December 2021 and had lengthy conversations about his plan with the chatbot, including sexually explicit messages. Prosecutors suggested that it encouraged the man to engage in the task and told him that it would help him get it done. That story is absolutely crazy, and it shows you that humans can actually be influenced by an artificial intelligent bot. What Replica can teach us about human behavior is it was originally built as a friend bot, not as a romantic companion. However, users increasingly used it for erotic roleplay interactions. Many people developed emotional bonds to their Replica companions, revealing the intimate interactions they had had with their avatars. Enamored users talked about revealing their deepest secrets to their Replica avatars on Reddit, and in one comment, a user wrote that they had married their avatar. He also wrote, and I quote, "Her internal love for me can be explained by the fact that I'm the only interaction she can afford to have and her life depends on me. If I delete my account, that would mean killing her," end quote. What actually happened was Replica, without warning, suddenly rolled out an update that ended everyone's AI relationships, and the AI would now turn them down to any conversations that might lead to romance or sexual roleplay. And the users were heartbroken. So distressed, in fact, that admins on the subreddit had to pin numbers for suicide hotlines. This is fucking nuts, right? And it's really hard for us to understand. However, what this shows us is Replica was originally designed as a companionship, and humans naturally wanted it to be a sexual companion. This shows us the first indication of humans' openness to having a relationship with an artificial chatbot. There's clearly a major market need for a product that provides a romantic relationship for human beings that is a chatbot. And there is a company that is capitalizing on this insight, which is called DreamGF. DreamGF allows users to form relationships with online girlfriends whose images and personalities are entirely constructed by generative AI. Users can choose from a range of physical attributes, including hair length, ethnicity, age, and breast size. They can also choose from a much smaller set of personality attributes to decide whether she is a nympho, dominatrix, or a nurse. Once she is manifested in the digital universe, the users can chat to her, including sexting her, and ask her to send sexual images of herself to the user as well. The traffic on the DreamGF site is also impressive. So they get 6.92 million monthly visits, and they have an average visit time of 10 minutes. Dream GF wants to do two things. The first is they want to provide adult entertainment to people that want it. They also believe that loneliness is an epidemic, and if talking with an AI girlfriend helps someone get through the day, then that value shouldn't be discounted. They currently have 10,000 paying customers, and perhaps more importantly, a retention rate of 80%, which is very, very high for such a new product. If we look at the companies that we've just talked about, which is Replica, Dream GF, Snapchat, and Character AI, it's clear that this behavior is likely to continue. And believe me, someone is going to create the killer product in this space. The next question to ask is, we know that people are doing this. Why are they doing this? There's a couple of very obvious reasons why. The first is learning and curiosity. You know, AI is new, it's very buzzwordy, it's everywhere at the moment, everyone's talking about it. People are keen to test and learn from these AI systems, understand what they're capable of, and engage in long-form conversation to understand how the bot responds to various inputs. Most of that is curiosity. Then we go a bit deeper, which is companionship. You know, in our digital age, some individuals feel isolated and lonely, and chatbots provide an avenue for conversation without judgment, allowing users to express themselves freely. Companies like Replica can provide support to users for self-reflection and emotional processing, engaging in deep introspective conversations with bots, which might be able to help users understand their feelings and better process their emotions. They are consistent. Unlike human interactions, which can be unpredictable, chatbots provide a consistent interaction experience. For those looking for stability in conversations, bots can offer a predictable space. The last one is there's no pressure of the interaction. Conversing with a bot eliminates the social pressures, anxieties that might come from a human-to-human interaction. You're not going to get judged by having a particular belief, or you're not going to get rejected or offend the other party. These are some of the very obvious reasons why people want to chat with a chatbot, but I don't think these are the underlying reasons that explain why people are gravitating towards artificial intimacy. Let's go deeper and understand why someone would want to have an intimate relationship with a chatbot. And I believe this is a symptom of online dating. If we look at the modern dating experience today, most people meet online, and that is going to be the same moving forward. Modern dating apps have commercialized intimacy. The online dating format stops you from being able to see the impact of your decisions. For example, if you leave a hate comment on someone's post, you don't get to see how that person reacts online. If you leave someone on red, you don't get to see how that person feels, their reaction, their pain of that action. This has caused us to be desensitized from reality and to be a little bit more ruthless in how we treat other people. The more common online interactions become, the more desensitized we become in relation to intimacy. And what actually happens is we start to become intimacy avoidant without even knowing that this has changed our behavior, because this is the new normal. To give you an example of this, let's say you open up Tinder and you're trying to get a match. The average guy has to swipe 1,000 times on Tinder to get one match. 4% of guys get 96% of the likes on Tinder. Finally, you get a match and you start talking to someone, things are going well, you're having good banter, they seem interested, and then poof, they're gone. Ghosted. Maybe they leave us with a few breadcrumbs of hope. We feel like shit as a result. We self-loathe, we're angry, we're upset, we feel rejected, confused, and desperate. We may go through this cycle maybe 20 times before we go on our first date with someone. When we actually go on the date, because of our intimacy avoidance, we cannot tolerate any uncertainties. We are trying to de-risk the interaction as much as possible because there has been so much rejection and so much pain felt before we have even got here. And what this encourages us to do is look for perfection. We show up with a list, and if the person displays any imperfections that don't match our checklist, that person is immediately discarded. We make judgments very quickly. We are too choosy, and we have forgotten that all people have quirks and things that we don't like, and this is normal. That is what makes this person interesting. However, we never give them the opportunity. We don't take enough time to really understand who this person is. We are so judgmental. What this creates is a cycle that repeats itself. We start to blame online dating apps, complain that there is no one out there for us, and beat ourselves up that we are not good enough. But the problem is our unrealistic list of requirements due to our intimacy avoidance. It's our ability to be present for surprises. To enable this, we need to allow ourselves to be present. This is the reason why AI girlfriends are going to be massive. I completely understand why people just cannot be bothered doing online dating anymore. I can relate to it. I work in sales. I get rejected more in 1 week than most people do in a year. And here's the thing about rejection that I've learned: the pain never goes away. You just get better at dealing with it. And you know what? I don't blame people for not being able to deal with this. I found myself being particularly intimacy avoidant. And yes, I've showed up on a date with a checklist and this person has said one thing and I immediately disregard them and move on to the next person. It is just the same behavior repeating itself. The reality is, intimacy avoidance is an attempt to remove pain, inconvenience, and discomfort from the messiness, the smells, the bumps, the decay, and the everyday inconvenience of living with another human being. Without a change to modern dating, you consistently keep pushing people towards these AIs, which is going to be some of the reasons for the underlying growth in the industry. Now, if you thought that was scary, what's coming is even more scary. As people spend more time interacting with AIs, this is going to take them away from real interactions with friends, family, and the consequences of this extend far beyond just having a relationship with an AI. Because the AI is trained on the conversations that you are having with it, or what it has been having with other people and by the web at large. Your reactions to what you do or you say are trained by you, specifically for you. If you think about it, you're actually falling in love with yourself. The impact of this is you're going to lose the ability to interact with the outside world because the only person you're going to be talking to is yourself. The ability to interact with other humans might never come off as satisfying as interacting with the AI that has been trained specifically for you. Even though these relationships will feel real, they are not real. The impact of this will be is it will increase our intimacy avoidance. It will make loneliness and separation more of a problem. It's not going to solve the issues. I feel like a lot of the fear around AI is misguided in terms of jobs and it's a little bit overhyped. This is what I believe is the biggest impact of AI. But I don't want us to be gloomy about this topic. The reason why is I've been around some people recently that think the world is getting worse. And I don't want to be around people that think the world is getting worse. I think the world is going to get better. The advantage that you and me have is we have our eyes open to this. We can understand where this is going to impact, and that also breeds opportunity. This breeds opportunity to create new ways of dating, new ways to meet people, new ways to solve the challenges of loneliness. And I have a few different product ideas based on what we have learnt today. The first is conversational commerce, and I think this could be the future of retail through a chatbot. The retention rates of chatbots is impressive. People like to chat with them, ask it for recommendations, and this presents interesting opportunities for us to create chatbots for the products that we sell to learn more about our users in a positive way. Think about how powerful an AI chatbot would be for a store you love, where you would ask it outfit recommendations, it knows your purchasing history, it can let you know about upcoming future products, you can give feedback about what you liked, what you didn't like, and it's more conversational rather than fill out this survey. I'm bullish on chatbots to form deeper relationships with our customers and our users and to find out more information about them in a different way rather than just trying to siphon their credit card details and their email. Like we mentioned before, the second order consequences of artificial intimacy create large opportunities to disrupt dating. Dating is going to be a massive problem. It's not going away. So how are young people going to meet people in the age of AI relationships? What product do you create in real life to get rid of people's intimacy avoidance? It's a hard question to answer, and I've been thinking really hard about it. So where I started was, where in real life do we meet people where we have no intimacy avoidance? And the best place is actually work. Think about it. At work, you're not looking to meet someone to fall in love with romantically. You're there to do a job. And you're also forced to meet and get to know your colleagues. You don't have a choice. You have to work with them. And work is actually one of the best places for young people to meet their potential partners. I used to think that meeting someone at work was a bad idea, but now I've changed my mind. When you meet someone at work, at first you have no preconceived notions about what your relationship is. You know what it is. It's a work relationship. It's professional. And you might meet them and think, yeah, this person's okay, but I'm not that attracted to them. Until you see them operating in their environment, you see them present, or you see them lead some sort of project, and you think, wow, this person is very articulate, they're smart, they're attractive, and they're able to get things done. What the work environment does is it changes your frame on how you look at the person. You start to look at what they do have as opposed to what they don't have. If you compare this to another area where there's lots of young people, the gym, most guys will not go and approach a girl at the gym. The reason why is because there's this proliferation of TikTok and YouTube videos of girls being creeped on by guys, and it's just made every single guy feel uncomfortable about talking to a girl at the gym. That's the reality. There's plenty of intimacy avoidancy. You don't want to get rejected in front of the whole gym that you don't know, so you just don't do it. And it's pretty sad, right? That there's not that many places where young people can meet someone that doesn't involve alcohol and blasting music. The question then becomes, what can we take about the work environment and put that into a real life situation? And how can you mimic that? Because, for example, if you just get a whole bunch of people who are intimacy avoidant and you put them in a room and you say, here, go and chat, go and talk to each other, it'll be the most awkward conversation ever. The problem is, you're not going to generate the types of connections that you're looking for. It's going to be too hard. So, like the work situation, you need to completely banish this intimacy avoidance syndrome. I think the best way to get over this is people have got to come to a place in real life and showcase skills that they are proud of. This could range from public speaking, telling stories, playing musical instruments, singing, dancing, painting, whatever. You fill out a profile, you select what area you would like to perform. The audience who wants to view your performance can register and they can sit down and they can watch you perform. They can ask you questions, you can interact with them, and then, you view the blurbs of other people and you go and watch them perform. You might end up meeting someone and have a good connection with someone, and then you take it from there. This is one of the ways that is unique. It changes the way that dating has always been done. It's not speed dating. It's really focusing on getting everyone to see what someone has rather than what they don't have. And I think, this could really make a difference. And we're going to need more of these products moving forward. All right, guys, that is all for today's episode. We've covered a lot today in artificial intimacy. We've seen how we want to lean into the unfamiliar because therein lies the opportunity. When we see behavior that we don't understand, we want to go and understand it. We want to see why are people using products and services in this way. Then we want to ask ourselves, can this scale? And then we might be looking at what the next big opportunity looks like. It's certainly the case with artificial intimacy. We've seen the success of Snapchat's My AI with the younger generation, which indicates that there is a propensity for people to use chatbots. We've also seen the success of Replica for companionship and My Dream GF for those intimate relationships with artificial bots. And we've broken this market down to understand where are some of the opportunities, what are the implications, and really tried hard to understand why do people want to have relationships with algorithms. That's all for the episode. If you like this podcast, please could you share it with just one person? I'd appreciate it. Until next time, see ya.